Jeff, for every team in college basketball, there is a 42-day window for an allotted 30 practices. Now, 2 of those for Murray State will be scheduled exhibitions. As for the other 28, head coach Matt McMahon says the focus will be defense. In their last 2 wins, Paducah-Tillman has now outscored their opponents 107-3. The win tonight also gives the Blue Tornado a number 2 seed in the Class 3 playoffs. Of course, the knowledge and experience helps the players, but even Mickey Garrison himself admits that he's learned a ton. But Dennis Thorell says he's not here to change things, but instead to add some new wrinkles. Now, most weeks McCracken County is worried about fine-tuning their game, but they admit this week with an unconventional opponent, they're spending a little bit more time on Pulaski Academy. Jeff, as you know, Murray State dealt with injuries early and often last season, but G. McGee's obviously the most important for this year's team. He'll have a week to recover before next Friday's opener here at the CFSB Center. And in that minute-long statement, the players said, quote, "We will stand and place our hand over our hearts for the playing of the national anthem," end quote. Barry Henson also told the media that this initiative was led by the players. The 87 points scored tonight for Middle Tennessee is the second most they've scored in this rivalry since 1987, back when Middle Tennessee was in the OVC. At the Murphy Center, I'm Justin Beasley, WPSD, Local 6 Sports. The UT Martin team that had its largest conference win in school history on Wednesday didn't show its face tonight until the second half. Adam, after the game, head coach Anthony Stewart said that UT Martin is heading into uncharted waters, and that is about the best way to describe a program that has now won at least a share of back-to-back OVC West titles. And remarkably, Jonathan Stark attempted 40 shots tonight, which is a new OVC tournament record. His 41 points scored, that is second most behind Bubba Wells' 43. Adam, it's hard to believe that it's been 15 years now since Murray State has lost 3 straight in conference play. Now they have a task to win 4 straight in 4 days to win an OVC title. Adam, the Racers have never won 4 straight under head coach Matt McMahon. As for just how dominant the Skyhawks were this week, they outscored their 2 opponents by a combined 46 points. The win tonight also gives the Skyhawks sole possession of first place in the OVC West. Duncan said he received about 100 texts yesterday afternoon when the news broke about him becoming the new head football coach, so much so that his phone died. He'll need a fully charged battery the next couple of weeks as he gets ready for spring practice. He tells me he's a step faster, a little bit more elusive this spring, as he doesn't have to deal with a brace. Very much so. Adam, today I heard all the reasons as to why Murray State should improve their conference affiliation, and really no argument as to why they should stay put. It might be just a 1.5-mile jump from Murray High to Murray State for Rochelle Turner, but a jump from Class 1A high school basketball. Adam, head coach Jason Simpson changed the spring game up a little bit this year, actually letting players draft their own teams.
I know how it felt, like the hurt and pain. The hurt really stopped me from letting them see that. If that caused me from losing my scholarship to get a job, I gotta do what I gotta do.
In the spring of 2016, Joe Este's life changed.
My mom, she had called me in the middle of the night. She was like, "I just can't do it no more."
At that time, Este was helpless, and his coaches could tell something was wrong.
I ain't willing to talk about it, it hurt me.
But eventually, Este opened up.
My mom, wasn't doing good. She said she didn't want to take care of my nephews no more.
So both agreed that after the spring semester ended, Este would then take care of them.
When I get home, I go see my mom. I said, "Where's the boys?" She said, "Man, your sister came and took them," which is their mama. My heart hit the floor. I was like, damn, I might not never get to see these boys again.
But not long after, Este received another call.
She was like, "You need to come get these kids, because I'm not watching them no more."
Este then made arrangements to finally get full custody of both his nephews, Chris and Zach.
She was always the ones that's in the streets and drugs and, dealing with the wrong stuff. I told her, I said, "Next time you leave, I'm not giving them back to you."
And from there, with the help of head coach Jason Simpson and his staff, Este found a 3-bedroom house near campus.
Way better situation than what they was in back at home. What they were seeing was too much at a young age. I was in the same boat as them, living from pillar to pillar every night.
Joseph, this bunk bed behind us isn't just any bed.
It's not his first time for everything.
It's better than sleeping on the floor, sofa, or any mattress. It's luxury and comfort to them.
What's up, little dude?
And since their move to Martin, Tennessee, Chris, Zach, and Joe are inseparable, even when it comes to football.
It's been really neat to see the team embrace them kind of like their big brothers. It's real heartwarming when you see their smiles in the hallway.
I would have gave up my football career to help them, keep them on track, because I ain't never had nobody to do it for me.
In Martin, Tennessee,
No, I lay me down to sleep.
I'm Justin Beasley, WPSD,
Pray the Lord.
Local 6 Sports. 38-year-old Chuck Melton is paralyzed from the chest down. Following a diving accident in August of 2002, Melton didn't know where to turn.
I was really in a real bad kind of state of depression.
Until a friend invited him to a wheelchair rugby practice in St. Louis.
It took me a good 5 years before I decided I'd want to do anything. It really was a turning point in my life.
And that's when wheelchair rugby became part of his. It's here at the body shop near his home in Richview, Illinois, where Melton trains 6 times a week.
It's a lot of work. It's very unique. It's the only full contact wheelchair sport in the Paralympics. It's unlike anything you're going to see. A lot of people just really freak out the first time they see 2 chairs coming full on at each other and hit each other, and guys are spilling over, bodies look like they're flying everywhere.
And across the street, Melton will work on his speed and endurance, where he completed a 5K this morning, another part of his workout regimen. You're a believer in all things happen for a reason. How do you think you've handled your given situation?
My quality of life has actually improved. My relationship with my wife and kids are so much better. My relationship with my family, it's given me the opportunity to give back. It's been a blessing.
And one that Melton hopes will culminate in a Paralympic gold medal.
It's still hard to comprehend that I'm going to get to do this.
In Centralia, Illinois, I'm Justin Beasley, WPSD, Local 6 Sports. Louisville's loss to Houston pretty much eliminated the Cardinals from the college football playoffs, and Kentucky is already bowl eligible. So what's there to play for Saturday? Well, we've got a Heisman Trophy for Lamar Jackson, an Orange Bowl for Louisville, and a chance for Kentucky to end what is now a 5-game losing streak to the Cardinals. Louisville coming off a 26-point loss Thursday in a game in which Lamar Jackson was sacked 11 times. Now, head coach Bobby Petrino says the Cardinals have corrected those mistakes, but the biggest thing this week has been moving on from last week's disappointment.
One of the things we use is a quote from Muhammad Ali that says,
the 2 teams will meet Saturday at 11. In the NFL, Washington taking on a Dallas team who has won 9 straight. Cowboys looking every bit their 9-1 record. Dak Prescott finding Terrence Williams, 17-3 ball game, and it's now routine. Let's see what Tony Romo thinks about it. Also, Jerry Jones. Dallas never did trail today. Washington always had a response, though, and none bigger than Kirk Cousins to Deshaun Jackson, a 67-yard hookup. Cousins with 449 yards passing, but they could not stop Ezekiel Elliott. 2 touchdowns on the game, and the Cowboys get their 10th straight. Indianapolis hosting Pittsburgh in the nightcap. Colts without their quarterback Andrew Luck in this one, and it is hard to keep up with Pittsburgh without him. Big Ben finding Antonio Brown, make it 14-0 now. Colts had their chances, though, twice inside the red zone, twice stopped, leaving 14 points on the board. And then late fourth quarter, Brown once again gets behind the defense. 3 touchdowns for him, 10 on the season, and a win for the Steelers. Coming into the final week of the regular season, all 6 of the AFC playoff spots have already been punched, but the exact seeding for those teams is still to be decided. For instance, with a Chiefs win and an Oakland loss, Kansas City will be your AFC West champs and receive a first-round bye as that number 2 seed. But if they lose to the Chargers, they could fall to the 6th seed. Chiefs down in the second quarter. Alex Smith, the quarterback in his hometown, going to run the read option to get it back tied at 10. The hometown kid ran for 1 touchdown, threw for 2 more. This one to Charkandrick West, and that would put KC up for good. It's not a highlight if you don't see Tyreek Hill, the rookie, going 95 yards on this punt return touchdown. And with Oakland's blowout loss to Denver, the Chiefs are your number 2 seed heading to the AFC playoffs. Elsewhere, the Titans hosting the AFC South champion Texans. Early first quarter, we go on 3rd and 9. Titans corralling Tom Savage. Ball goes into the end zone. Daquan Jones on the recovery Hashtag tighten up with the early lead. Just before the half, Matt Castle to Rashard Matthews, a team-high 9 catches for 114 yards. Titans up 14. Third quarter lead trimmed to 7. Derrick Henry capping off a 10-play, 55-yard drive. The Titans take down the division champs and finish 6 wins better than last season. That ties the largest single-season turnaround in franchise history. In the NFC, Chicago at Minnesota. Vikings wasting no time on their first drive. Sam Bradford to Jerick McKinnon, breaks 2 tackles, diving to the pylon. Vikings up 7. Bears respond with a drive of their own, but Matt Barkley intercepted by Xavier Rhodes. That's 10 for him in the past 3 weeks. Early second now. Bradford good for 3 first-half touchdowns, and the Vikings get the 38-10 blowout win. Bears finish with just 3 wins all season. They'll have the number 3 pick in the NFL draft.